Hello, everyone. How's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with another awesome video. Obviously, you saw the title of this one. This is going to be a pretty short haul video of stuff I actually just got today at a chain of used media stores I've talked about quite a bit called Half Price Books. They're spread around the United States fairly well. They're not in every state, they're not all over. But if you do have a Half Price Books that is, somewhat local to you, it would probably be worth checking it out because Half Price Books is one of those types of places that a lot of times you go in and you don't find one single thing that you want to get. But sometimes you get lucky and you manage to find some gems. So today, obviously, I found some stuff, and I'll show you guys, obviously, what I got. I'm going to start with a pair of cassettes of all things. We got some Judas Priest. We got show the right one. An original pressing here of Sin After Sin. They sell these cassettes were $2 each, so they were definitely cheap enough for me to get. If I wouldn't pay a lot much more than $2 for a used cassette. That's pretty much my limit probably. So this is an original Columbia pressing, I guess. Exciting. The cassette shell. J-Card really has like nothing. It's generic. There's no lyrics or any liner notes or anything. But that's all right. I mean, I have a CD of this, which much more. But look at how small the actual like cover art is on that thing. That is tiny, right? And you can still see the. Yeah, you can still see the. I haven't taken the price tag off. $2 even. I listened to this today, and sounded great. Great sound quality. Even though it's a used cassette, it sounded really good. So that's one of the cassettes I got. The other one I got was, assuming probably the same person sold both of these to the store. Just a compilation, Living After Midnight. They show some artwork from something else, obviously. And is that the Unleashed in the East cover? Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not. I know I'm a huge Priest fan, but I don't do live albums. So yeah, here's this is much more. This was released in like 1998, so here we are, much closer to the end of the cassette's reign as a music format, and the J card is not much. It's a little bit better than the one from the 70s, Sin After Sin, but it's certainly not. It sure as hell ain't much. So those are two of the things I got. I'm going to show you the final music related thing I got there. I got an album that I've been looking for quite a while, actually. This was a hole I was able to fill, a back catalog thing. I got Fear Factory's Archetype. Yeah, I paid a bit much for this. I'll show you the price tag in a second. And yes, there's damage, obviously, on the Digipack. And there's the back of it. It's $10. But this goes for a lot more than $10 online, so I figured I'll put up with the less than perfect Digipack. I mean, structurally, it's sound. Here, I'll show you. Let's just fold this out. And there you go. Right. Well, I mean, it's not going to be falling apart or anything. And there it is. So I wanted to show you something I found slightly amusing in this. That came one of the inserts. It's like a commercial for Mad Catz video game accessories. GameShark this website, GameShark.com, does not exist anymore. And this is going to give you an idea when I open this up of the time period that this came out. We have the OG Xbox on there, and some rather, cheap, flimsy-looking controllers and stuff. And that's kind of what Mad Catz was known for when it was a major brand, was really cheap-ass controllers and video game accessories. So they were definitely not the best video game accessories at the time. Game Sharks were pretty cool because they were the cool cheat devices you could use to cheat in games on your favorite console games. But their controllers and whatnot, definitely not too legendary there. Legendarily bad, I guess. Nowadays, Mad Catz only produces keyboards, mice, and headphones. When I went to their website, I could find no mention of any console gaming stuff, which I guess is a slight shame because they were around for so long and definitely got a bit of a reputation. And we also have, let's see, a list of things that Fear Factory endorses, right? I'm sure that they got paid to have all this put in their, booklet. All those corporate logos. And what's funny is one of the songs on here is called Corporate Cloning. So, endorsements is definitely a way to rage against the machine guys. I don't begrudge them their endorsements one bit. Hell, if I could sell out, I would in a second, but nobody wants to buy me, so, I remain pure because nobody wants to give me any money to be anything else. So, but that's not that's not all I got today. Now we're definitely we're going to dive a little bit into the nerd side of my aspect of my personality a little bit. The last thing I got today actually was this Ninja Turtles collection of basically essentially what this was, or what this is, not what this was. This is basically a collection of 4 different comic issues, just kind of put together. And I don't really buy individual comics ever, but I will pick up collections like this because they're just a lot of fun to read. And I really enjoyed this because it was 4 entirely separate stories, one centered around each turtle, and they weren't really they weren't really overconnected aside from all taking place obviously in the same, more or less same time and place and all that, but they weren't like a continual progressive story. They were 4 standalone tales, which was kind of cool. They all relate. They did all kind of share a theme, and the theme was basically discovering what the Foot Clan was, and and they never showed Shredder in any of this, but there were inklings of him and that kind of stuff. And by the way, the Ninja Turtles were the last kid craze that I got into before I got too old for new kid crazes. Because by the time Power Rangers came along, because that was the big thing after Ninja Turtles, I was too old for, I had zero interest in that. And, I haven't really, yeah, so essentially Ninja Turtles were my last one. And I still find, yes, I know, obviously it was, a kid. It's a thing, but a lot of middle-aged dorks like myself do still like the Ninja Turtles, and I do find them entertaining. And then, of course, the last thing I'm going to show off, this was not gotten today. I actually got this for free from my local library. They were giving away just, old books that they weren't keeping around or whatever. I've had this actually sitting around for shamefully a much longer time than I should have before I read it. But I did, while I was listening to those cassettes today, the Judas Priest ones, I just decided to, read I read the Ninja Turtles book comic first, and then I read this, and obviously we can see what this is. And what's really cool about this Star Trek book is it shows something that the Enterprise did during the Dominion War, because on Deep Space Nine, it didn't really show the Enterprise during the Dominion War, and you're kind of like thinking to yourself, well, where the hell is the Enterprise during the Dominion War? Well, that's where this story takes place. It's really cool. Obviously you can see the title of it is The Gorn Crisis, so clearly it relates to that race, and it's a lot of fun. Just a fun little read. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did like this kind of video, I know some people enjoy these little types of what I got videos, others don't. Let me know in the comments below if you guys liked it. If I get more interesting stuff, I'll put a video up like this again. So anyway, that's it. You guys know what to do. Live long and prosper.